So Dogecoin has received an incredible gift today from one of its biggest supporters. But before we talk about it, let's talk about USD and Terra for a minute, since it's one of the reasons that caused the crash. A new report from Elliptic revealed that Luna Foundation Guard had a Bitcoin reserve that was worth over $3 billion before the USD and Luna crisis began. And now, the LFG reserve wallet is now empty. The Luna Foundation has announced they sold 80K Bitcoin, currently worth $2.4 billion, on May the 8th and 10th while Bitcoin's price crashed. They sold them for about $3 billion USD, which is now worth nothing because Terra has suspended their blockchain. According to Elliptic, the funds were sent to Binance and Gemini amid the market chaos. Now, something really interesting happened to those funds. But before I talk about that, let's talk about the big news from today. So ETH co-founder Vitalik Buterin has donated $1 million to the Dogecoin Foundation today. About this, David Gokhshtein tweeted that he is expecting Buterin to be working on something that would be able to help Dogecoin move to the next level, and I have to agree with him. In August last year, Buterin joined the board of Dogecoin Foundation as an advisor. He expressed a hope that Doge would change to proof of stake from the energy-consuming proof-of-work algorithm soon. And if this happens, we'll see some amazing developments coming in for Doge very soon after it. And now let's talk about some really bullish indicators for Bitcoin. Remember that we're talking about Bitcoin because of its high price correlation with Dogecoin. So 1,000 Bitcoins were moved from a wallet that has been dormant since 2013. It represents a signal that can be interpreted in several ways. First of all, one has to think about what the value of Bitcoin was in 2013, which was around $900. Hence, many might think that someone, having analyzed the critical economic phase, might also consider cashing out. But then on the other hand, it would not make sense after so many years of inactivity to sell nearly $30 million worth of Bitcoin in such a bearish market. After all, this trader has seen Bitcoin go up to 70K too. So maybe he's too confident about Bitcoin going up that he's putting it in a safer private wallet. Another great indicator for Bitcoin came from Bitfinex. So long positions on Bitcoin have hit an all-time high on Bitfinex as they spike over 60% in a day. The spike is one of the most aggressive moves up that has ever been seen on the exchange. The previous all-time high was hit in July 2021. The history of long positions on Bitfinex can perhaps give some insight into the state of the market and where we could be headed next. On the weekly chart, there is a long wick up towards 7,500 before a weekly close of 3,111. This indicates that the short positions took advantage of the volatility in the market across the past week but have now closed out positions. When this is paired with the 60% increase in long positions, it indicates bullish sentiment for the market overall. Bitfinex CTO Paulo Ardoino called the event accumulation, suggesting that he thinks that whales are acquiring Bitcoin at a discounted price. This comment is important to note as Ardoino highlights that long positions in futures markets are often offset by selling Bitcoin on the spot market. This strategy can give you a hedge against further market volatility depending on how you set your limit orders in the futures contract. Now, a small misstep in this strategy can lead to oversized losses, especially for those using margin or leverage. And this is exactly why I think that these whales are super bullish on Bitcoin at this price point. Also, crypto analyst Anthony Pomp said that Bitcoin's on-chain transparency will be the next major selling point for investors. Pompliano predicted that Wall Street investors would eventually come around to the importance of on-chain metrics, driving greater interest towards Bitcoin and crypto. Pomp also highlighted data showing that more than half of Bitcoin's circulating supply has not moved in the last 12 months, giving some indication that most investors are holding for the long term. Now let's talk about Bitcoin dominance for a minute. In Jan 2022, Bitcoin's dominance bounced at the 40% long-term support area for the third time. This bounce initiated the current upward movement, which has so far led to a high of 45.25%. Now the thing is that Bitcoin dominance has not reached a close below this area since early Jan 2018. The bounce has effectively created a triple bottom, which is considered a bullish pattern. The fact that the pattern has been created inside such a long-term support area increases its significance. If the Bitcoin dominance upward movement continues, the closest resistance area would be at 52.30%. This is the 0.382 fib retracement resistance level when measuring the entire downward movement since Jan 2021. Besides the creation of a bullish pattern, the RSI has moved above 50. Prior to this increase, the RSI had been below 50 for 462 days. Readings above 50 are considered bullish. As a result, this suggests that the continuation of the upward movement is expected. And another important data came from CoinShares. As per its new report, the inflows into crypto asset-backed funds last week were the largest seen so far this year, led by almost $300 million that flowed into Bitcoin funds. At the same time, outflows of nearly $27 million were seen from ETH funds, and outflows of $5.3 million were seen from Solana funds. Now, the Bitcoin inflows are a strong signal that investors saw the collapse of Terra as a buying opportunity. And this is great because of the high correlation between Doge and Bitcoin's prices that we were just talking about. Also, despite price volatility, institutional investors are buying Bitcoin via market makers right now. Major crypto exchanges over the past week witnessed coin movements. Market makers who use the Gemini exchange sent around 84K Bitcoin to Binance from 7 to 10 May, hitting an all-time high. After this, the exchange reserves metrics showcased a bullish narrative as well. And then CryptoQuant CEO also pointed out that LFG has sold off the vast majority of its Bitcoin reserves, saying that institutions on the exchange have bought a lot of it. Also, the latest data indicates that addresses with at least one Bitcoin is on the rise. A drop in prices usually presents a buying opportunity because selling might result in losses, as highlighted by Glassnode. But still, as of May 16, 2022, the number of Bitcoin addresses with one Bitcoin and above hit an all-time high of 840K. Now let's talk about great news for the crypto market before we come back to Dogecoin. The Brazilian stock exchange, known as B3, said that it will begin trading futures contracts for Bitcoin within the next 3 to 6 months. Also, the president of El Salvador is planning to meet with central banks from 32 different countries to discuss Bitcoin and its role in economies. Basically, representatives from 44 countries will convene in the Central American nation today for the meeting. About this, a rep said that it looks like Panama is coming. They're just waiting for a signature from the president to sign off on a law. That was pretty unexpected. Even the Central African Republic was unexpected. It just came out of nowhere. I think definitely within this year it's possible we'll see another one appear. I'm actually working on a number of countries too. Now let's talk about some great news for the crypto market. The crypto investment platform 21 Shares introduced a couple of new exchange-traded products as it plans for an expansion. The first of the two is named the 21 Shares Crypto Layer 2. This investment vehicle expects to open gates to 5 foundational blockchain networks in the DeFi sector. And I think this is something that is going to bring in a lot of money into the crypto and DeFi sector. And there's another good news. So the world's largest digital asset manager, Grayscale, will launch an ETF in Europe. The product, tracking the Bloomberg Grayscale Future of Finance Index, will go live in the UK, Germany, and Italy. This fund consists of a range of firms part of the crypto industry, such as exchanges, miners, asset managers, brokers, and tech companies. And again, this is something that will bring in a lot of institutional funds from Europe, so it's pretty great. Now talking about some bad news, Elon Musk said that Twitter's daily user base may almost fully consist of bots or spammers. According to Musk's statement, spam accounts may actually be the most profiles on the platform. So many accounts created solely for spamming or scamming authentic users are a black mark on the company's reputation and potentially stock. In addition to receiving reputational damage, Twitter may face some serious issues with advertisers as daily active users is the main metric that is considered during ads efficiency calculation. After this statement, investors started rapidly selling their Twitter stock, causing a massive 10% drop in the market. So basically, the Twitter deal might not happen after all. Now coming back to Dogecoin, there's another big update from today. According to Doge Designer, who's a UX/UI specialist and graphic designer at Dogecoin Foundation, the proof of assets for Dogecoin might soon arrive on Binance. So, according to BSC scan data, over 649K addresses are holding Doge on the BSC network. If you don't know, proof of assets, indicates on-chain behaviors of B token and lock native token assets. The same token can circulate on both networks and flow between them bidirectionally via a cross-chain communication mechanism. Also, according to Whale Stats, Dogecoin remains one of the most used smart contracts among the top 1K BSC whales in the last 24 hours. Dogecoin currently ranks among the most purchased tokens and most used smart contracts for the top 100 BSC whales. And this is why I'm still bullish on Dogecoin even at this price level. If you are bullish as well, comment a heart in the comment section below.